Hi, this is Joe from njsforever.com. Today we are with Mr. Untouchable. Not that one or that one, but one of many of them, but the one, Mr. Nevelle Hodge.
Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Hello, man. How you doing?
So, how did you get your break in the industry, and how did you come to be in music?
Well, in music, I've been doing it for a long time. As a child, I'd played for a lot of different people in jazz, gospel, a lot of different areas of music, and rap was something new at the time. And the high school where I was attending at the time, I was always playing for places outside of high school. So in high school, high school was really just school for me. And in music, that was like a totally different neighborhood. So in music, I was known as Nevelle. In school, I was known as Maurice. I had met a guy named Albert Brown. And Al wanted to, he was going to be singing, and he was actually, ironically, he was dating my sister at the time. And he was saying, I really want to do this thing. And then when he realized I did music, he was like, we should really get together. So Al and I used to get together a lot and do some music. Then he told me that he had some friends that also did music, and that one was a rapper, one was a DJ, and he thought it'd be like really a good fit, and we should all link up. So we all linked up, and it was myself, Al, Dwight, and Eddie.
Dwight is Heavy D, right?
Yeah, Dwight ended up being Heavy D. Al was Al Be Sure. And we got together and we started doing music that first day. And it was like, this sounds pretty good. And Al was singing on the backgrounds of what we were doing, and everyone was like, hey, we should make a group and put something together.
What year was that?
Wow, that's a good question. I was still in high school, so I think I was probably like sophomore year, something like that. So that would be probably somewhere around 86.
86.
Yeah, 86, 85.
So, Heavy D and the Boys. What was the original lineup then?
So, it was actually myself, Al, Heavy, and Eddie. So it was like a very mixed group, so kind of odd kind of thing.
Wow, Nevelle, Eddie F, Heavy D, and Al Be Sure was the original Heavy D and the Boys.
Yeah, well, it was the original group, but we didn't even really have a name for what it was, and we decided we would go and check somebody out and see what the labels were doing, and Def Jam was one of the top labels. So we went over there, and Jeff and I were kind of more like the music kind of creative side, and we were, once we started doing some songs together, we were like, we should try and do some other songs later on. And I said, well, we'll see. But we took a meeting with Andre Harrell, who was at Def Jam at the time.
Yeah. And
actually, Eddie and I stayed in the hallway, and Al and Heavy went in and talked to Andre, because Al was always like, clean cut, had the briefcase, like he just always had like that look. Yeah, always. So he was like, kind of like leveraging the business of it, and they were talking, and they struck up a pretty good relationship. And at the time, I believe Andre was probably making his way out of Def Jam at the time. So the situation kind of got pushed back until that happened. And while that was going on, a lot of things changed. I was doing a lot more music in other places, and A and I were getting together, but not as much with Heavy, So I did some songs with them, but me and Eddie were actually linking up as just musicians and doing stuff. And then when Andre decided to put together Uptown, he called everyone back and said, so what's up? Let's go. So initially, that was when the group started to change. I wasn't in the group because I didn't really want to do that kind of thing. And actually, I wasn't going to be doing records at all. I kind of wanted to do it to help them. I used to help a lot of catch music, because that's what musicians do.
Such as who? Anybody with know?
Yeah. Wow, I'd have to go do some of that. But it'll probably come to me.
Okay, no problem.
But especially Mount Vernon, it was like at the time it's sort of a hotbed of like new talent, and it's funny how these small areas they always have like groups that battle each other. And I was playing for like 2 of the other groups, and they actually got angry that I was working with them and got into all these altercations. Anyway,
but you guys were young at the time, so that was normal, right?
Yeah, that was kind of I guess how that balance stuff was. You know, I was just learning what that was about because I was still playing as a musician, so I didn't really get into what all that was. But it was fierce. It was definitely fierce, and it was always about pulling in like cousins and friends and everything, and that's how these crews started. They were always related, you know. So Heavy's group changed into, he brought in his cousin. So then it was Troy and G-Wiz, and they started dancing for the group, and that came about because we started to see that when you do shows, you know, you might be a good rapper, you might be a good musician, but you may not have the presence to kind of pull the whole thing. Sure. And they did a great job at like bringing in the presence for the group and doing the dances and making it really, you know, entertaining. And Heavy's entertaining already. So that ended up actually being the group. It ended up being Heavy and Eddie with G-Wiz and Troy. And Al, at the time, he was still in it, but he was sort of like going, once the group recorded and everything, he would just like do sort of little bits here and there. And when they would do shows, he would do pieces, you know. As a matter of fact, that's really how it got, he got where he was. It was actually through Heb in the association with that, because they started to see like, yo, he could really do something. You know, and he was oddity. Like he had this deep voice, and then he could sing high and all this stuff. So, you know, that always worked out for him. You know.
And so, for those that don't know who you've worked with, not to boast, but who have you worked with? For those that may not know this man.
Wow, I don't know. Wow, that's kind of hard. I guess there's Heavy. LL, Queen Latifah. Wow, it's really hard to remember that kind of stuff.
Actually, you know what?
It's been a bit of years.
Let me help Nevelle out. Actually, I'm going to ask you another question before we get back to that. How hot were on Vogue, all 4 of them, when you worked with them for the Lies remix?
Oh, they man, you know, they were extremely
very jealous.
talented.
People like me just wish we could be in the same room as them. But Nevelle, no, let's just kick it for a day or 2.
No, you know what? Just talented. It's great when you're with people in that kind of frame and you start putting things down. They, you know, you really get to understand that everybody is really trying to do the same thing. Everyone is really into the music, into trying to do their best, and it's even better when you push everybody, because then they realize, yeah, you know, we're really in the thick of it. So, you know, there's great people. I really haven't had too many artists in my life that have kind of just shirked the responsibility. I said, whatever, you know, they all really work hard, from the LLs to, you know, they go in there and they bang it, you know, and that's a great piece. That's when at least the label isn't in the room, when everyone's just doing their thing.